Hello and welcome to a special episode of Beyond the Nexus.
With our first two teams decided for BlizzCon, we wanted to take a deeper look at the teams that will be representing their regions at the biggest Heroes esports event to date.
With $1 million on the line, tensions will be high. We know the final destination for these players, so today we're going to look at where they've been.
Let's get into it.
Team-Dignitas has represented Europe at every global championship so far. After getting second at BlizzCon, they've gone through several roster swaps. Once after BlizzCon, another after DreamHack Winter, one before Spring, and last and probably most controversially after winning the first Summer Regional.
Everyone immediately questioned that particular swap because the team looked so good with Webby at Leicester, made the swap, and then didn't even make it out of the group stage at Tour. This started a long period of time where Dig had to play second fiddle to my insanity being the top of Europe. But still, ever faithful Captain Bakery continued to defend bringing on Alex the Pro G to the team.
What we really wanted, like all four of us as a team, we really wanted to be a contender for the best team in the world, not just the best team in Europe. And with Wobby, although he's a fantastic player, fantastic shot caller, and of course a fantastic drafter, we never felt like we could reach that level. We always thought that we'd be stuck at an elite team in the EU, but we'd never be a contender in the world scene. And that's what we tried to fix with Alex. Like, he's always trying to improve. He's always focused in practice and in the tournaments. And that's what we took the gamble on. Our first tournament with Alex, DreamHack Tours, it was a disaster, actually. We went out in group stage. So after DreamHack Tours, there was a lot of criticism towards the team for their decision, and of course specifically me as the captain, but also to Alex for how he played. Like, they felt like we were four great players and Alex had come in and brought us down. It felt alien to us playing with Alex at first, and what we were used to about the shouting and the communication, it just never came. But over time that just kind of fixed itself. We didn't take any drastic steps, and now we're back to normal. BlizzCon last year for me was the best time of my life. So I'm so excited personally to be able to go back like in the next year, and it's going to be such a better tournament this time as well. This will be the roster that goes to BlizzCon, no doubt about it. After BlizzCon, anything can happen, but I can say right now I have no glaring issues with the team, and although there may be some support staff changes around the team, the lineup of 5 that plays during the game will not change.
But winning DreamHack Valencia was not a cakewalk for Dig. They lost to Fnatic in the group stage, and that's one of their rivals, largely because a majority of the players on both of those rosters at some point have played on the same team in the past. But Dignitas was able to pull it out in the grand finals in a very close series against them.
By winning Valencia, Team Dignitas not only reclaimed their title of best in Europe, but became the first team to qualify for BlizzCon. And for all of these players, especially Mene, BlizzCon is the ultimate dream.
I felt like my dream, because I always watch a stream of BlizzCon, like World of Warcraft, Heroes and stuff. So it was like, oh, I will be a god going to BlizzCon. I'm not gonna watch, I will play it. At the beginning it was hard for me because I have to follow up the tank in fight or in gank. And we had some problem because we don't have the same game sense. This is why I roam with Jay most of the time. So it was hard at the beginning, but we fixed it, and now it's going well. Yeah, it's my first time going to BlizzCon. I feel really happy because it's my dream. Yeah, like it's California, like it's again global, so the best team in the world, and this is one of the biggest events in the world, so yeah, I'm really happy.
Well, let's take a look at the history of play for Team Dignitas. To start out, we have Bakery, and he's made a name for himself on the Kharazim with Divine Palm play, but has recently showed he can play a lot of different supports, even solo support Tassadar. Then we've got Mene, known for his love of the mages, but has recently shown he's implemented Lunara into his competitive hero pool.
Alongside Mene in the damage department is Snitch, who typically plays whatever is needed to round out their composition. This can range from Tassadar to melee assassins to even specialists, and does put Snitch in the position of being a sort of wild card for the team.
As it is common in the European scene, Team Dignitas has always had the ability to play double warrior compositions. So much so that they've played Double Warrior at least one time at every single European regional this year. It has become more popular with them recently, not only because the shift in the European meta towards Double Warrior, but then also with having Alex the Pro G on the roster, means they have a secondary Warrior player.
By having both Alex and JPL, it gives Dignitas the flexibility to play Double Warrior, or for either of them to play a melee assassin depending on who is more comfortable with the hero. Especially because JPL is widely regarded as one of the best Warrior players in all of Europe.
But where Dignitas has been inflexible in the past is with things like Illidan. During the summer circuit, no matter what position in the draft they were, they had to ban the hero because they just couldn't play him competitively. This really hindered their draft and put them in a position where they could never deny strong opponents and meta heroes from their opponents because they had to ban the Illidan.
But between shifts in meta, as well as the fact that the team has been working on that issue, they were much better at Valencia. They never first banned Illidan, and they even picked him up for Snitch to play once, although they didn't actually win with him.
With BlizzCon being this far out, Team Dignitas has a huge advantage. They can hide in the shadows, watch their opponents, and plot their strategies. But if the meta shifts to where Double Warrior becomes unfavorable, or Illidan becomes all-powerful once again, we'll have to see if Team Dignitas is flexible enough to be able to adapt and maybe win BlizzCon.
That closes out Team Dignitas, so let's focus on Murloc Geniuses for the rest of today. Although the team itself is new, the name Murloc Geniuses is not. It's been in Heroes esports for over a year. At its height during the Road to BlizzCon of 2015, the team featured two of its current members, Fury and Cothenluck, alongside Faye, Mad Timmy, and Equinox.
They were known for their imaginative builds and compositions and being able to adapt to patches and battlegrounds before their opponents, giving them the upper hand. They always placed in the 4th place range typically, but fell apart after placing 5th at Heroes Rising.
The players went their separate ways, with Fury being the most successful by playing Warrior for Gale Force Esports. That team had its breakout performance after defeating Niantic to qualify for the Summer Global Championship. After that event, Fury was removed from the roster, and he eventually wound back up with Cothenluck and Caterpillar. They added June and Psalm as the missing links to elevate them to regional champion status.
June is a player who's been in the competitive scene for some time, but never on a roster where he could really show his support prowess. At the North American Regional #1, that was his first LAN ever, and he managed to win it. He showed a lot of very good patience and timing when it comes to his spells, which is absolutely crucial if you want to be a great support. Even showing how deep his hero pool can be by making solo support Brightwing work.
And in bringing in Psalm, Murloc Geniuses added to their team a lot of flexibility. He, Caterpillar, and Cothenluck can all play a variety of ranged heroes. But Psalm also used to be a melee assassin main for previous teams, so he can play those heroes too, as can Cattle.
And Cattle, with his time on Cognitive, was a Warrior main. This allows Murloc Geniuses to never really get pigeonholed into picks that they're uncomfortable on because he has such a diverse hero pool. On top of that, he's been respected for some time as being one of the best shot callers in North America.
Even Fury, he has been playing Warrior since the early days of Alpha, so it's just impossible to put him on a Warrior hero that he's uncomfortable with. But while it may be difficult to push Murloc Geniuses into certain picks in draft, they're pretty good at doing it to their opponents.
There were many times during the North American Regional that they felt like they were almost bullies in the draft. Their ability to isolate the weak link in their opponent's roster and put them on heroes that they were uncomfortable on was impressive.
Together, these players have finally made their way to the top of the region, even allowing Fury to defeat his old teammates of Gale Force Esports in the grand finals.
Gale Force, I don't know. I was hoping we'd see them in the finals because I wanted the opportunity to beat them myself. All I really remember that really helped us towards the end to secure the game was finding Michael Udall. I took a guess that he was in the bot lane bush just waiting there, and I told my team to follow me. And basically, anywhere I felt like we can get a pick, my team was right behind me and we can punish someone. So it was either between their Greymane player or crowing on Tracer. So I felt like as long as we kept getting picks and don't lose any more shrines, we had the game in our bag. Yeah, we're pretty new. We picked up Cattle pretty much last minute for qualifiers, and we've just been working hard for the last few months. I don't really get exhausted from the games. I love playing as many games on stage as possible. So going to best of fives, I like playing it. I think my team, they all just wanted to play. We were just here early waiting for our set to play against Vox, but we just wanted to play the video game. So. Winning this tournament has showed us that as long as we study, do our homework, and then practice hard, that we can beat any team possible.
Every time Fury gets removed from a team, the new team does better than the last. Murloc Geniuses is an absolutely true underdog story. Everyone thought there would be an upset at the North American Regional, but no one thought that Murloc Geniuses would be the one that came out on top.
It really is a tale of over a year's worth of hard work and dedication finally paying off for these players that have been in the scene for so long. Even Som, he's been competing for a long time, but this is the first time he's even made it to the top 4 of an event, let alone winning it and qualifying for BlizzCon. But as Som himself will tell you, this team has a lot of work to do to get ready for international competition.
Even though we won the fights, we made a couple of over-chasing mistakes and they would just cap while we were being too aggressive. So we knew that we needed to settle down, win the fight, and then secure the objective. Since we're a new team, I think probably the biggest thing that we need to do to prepare for BlizzCon is really analyze and study the Koreans. Because obviously the Koreans are the best players in the world right now. We don't want to emulate them per se, but we want to take from their game and add it to our own game and hopefully become a better version of the Korean teams. This is my first place at BlizzCon. This is my first time placing top 4. So I expect a lot harder games.
One thing we do have to keep in mind is that the meta for the North American Regional was really in the favor of Murloc Geniuses. With things like Zagara being first pick, first ban worthy, a hero Cawthon has been known for forever to play very well, it really worked out for them. Yes, in the past they've been able to adapt to patches and battlegrounds quicker than their opponents, and they showed during the tournament that they can isolate the weak link in their opponent's roster. But at the world stage, with teams like MVP Black, they are not going to be able to do that.
Also, as a newer team, the Murlocs may not have the kind of resources behind them as some of the more established teams in the scene would. But with these players finally tasting victory, I know that they will be working tirelessly to once again have the feeling of raising a trophy into the air.
That covers our first 2 teams to qualify for BlizzCon, a $1 million event.
We'll continue to talk about the other teams that qualify as they make it through their respective regionals.
But until then, we'll see you in the Nexus.